congratulations on the film. So your character, I guess, has everything figured out in life.
Do you think so?
Eh, I mean, as opposed to her, yeah, a little more, or he's more self-centered, maybe. I don't think he's searching as much. He already did, maybe, or am I mistaken?
That's a great question, actually, because I think that as far as, okay, if finding out what to do in life and what gives you purpose and meaning when it comes to work and occupation, he definitely has found out what he wants to do. And I think he's found that out at a very early stage. He has probably decided to become a comic book artist or a graphic novelist at a very early stage. But I think that he also might have some identity search work to be done, but in a slightly different sense. He's a person who is using language as a tool. He is putting words on her emotions and her thoughts, and he's good at articulating other people's feelings and emotions. But I'm not sure if he's as good when it comes to himself. So he might have some blind zones, and I would probably advise him to go into therapy to try to discover some of those blind zones. But I understand your point.
I think, yeah, we should all go to therapy, though.
Yeah, maybe you're right. We should.
So, tell me, how was your experience with this story? I mean, you seem much younger than the character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. Did you identify with Axel at many levels, or not at all, or?
I identified with him on many levels. But yeah, I remember we were a bit concerned if I should have been older, or my character should have been played by an older actor than me. That was something we asked ourselves early in the process, and we even talked about doing an audition. Which was a weird conversation because I know Joachim so well, and we didn't really know what could come out of that. But I think when we started talking about character and what he could represent, that he could be representing the melancholy of the passage of time, and in that way linking this film to the other two films in the trilogy, it kind of made sense that I would do it. And it's a lot of fun working with Renate because she's such a generous, creative actor. So, and we've always had very nice working chemistry. So I knew that we could it could be fun to embark on this emotional roller coaster with her.
Would you say that in this society, and society in general, in this area of the world, are we allowed to be vulnerable? Because I think that being vulnerable is not really accepted. We have to know what we want, and you have to get married, buy a house, and all those boring things. Well, boring, quote unquote. It could be boring for many people. So I think the film explores the lack of room to explore, maybe, in life.
That's a very good point. I remember I read a book about vulnerability and how far you can get with being honest about vulnerability, and how that can be a way of growing and learning. So I think that's important. But I do think that some of those obstacles are in ourselves. I mean, we can sometimes project them onto society, but but it's not always other people's expectations, or they might be internalized in ourselves, and we experience them as psychological obstacles. So I think we have to start with ourselves and try to overcome them first, and not always blame other people for our lack of our not being capable of being vulnerable, because I think it's a very important skill to have, to dare to be that.
Would you say that Axel and Julia are in very different moments in their lives?
Yeah, I think that's true. She has probably needed him to in her ongoing identity search, and because he's so good at because he's good with language and good at articulating other people, she has probably seen him as useful in that project, because he can confirm her, and but at a certain point that gets annoying. You don't want to be patronized by an older guy
Yeah.
like that, and so finally she has to get rid of him to get further in life, and she feels really bad about that. She feels like the worst person in the world for dumping him, but maybe she doesn't have a choice there and then.
Cool.
But then they could, so in that sense, you know, many love stories is more about bad timing than the characters being good or bad. And I think that that element is definitely present in this film.
Well, thanks a lot. We're out of time. Congratulations on the film. I had a great time. Someone else is waiting for you to talk.
I see. Well,
Waiting
cool.
for. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.